Hello all. Our job here today is to make a tumbler. I printed the tumbler with an image using Silhouette Studio, and it's a 20-ounce flat edge tumbler. Here we'll wrap it. We're gonna wrap the tumbler flat on the table, making sure that the edges are nice and straight. Once they line up, bring it together. This image printed out a little too big for me since I was trying some new editing options, actually printing options. So just a little bit bigger than I wanted to compared to the one I did before. But we got to make sure it's nice and tight. Once it's nice and tight, as you can see, we'll bend the little tip of the tape and it helps us when we take the tape off. Making sure the wrap is as tight as we can get it. Get the crease in there, and now we do the top. Do the same with the tape, a little edge, bend it in. It'll be easier when you take it off. Get it nice and tight. And do the other side as well. We get all of them nice and tight. Now we'll get a long piece of tape and we'll tape it right down the middle, overlap on both ends. Try to measure it long enough to be able to tape it from the top and the inside. I like to bring it to the edge of the table just to make it easier to stick. Make sure you I always pass my nail right down the middle. Make sure the tape is there and they're nice and tight. And now we go and start taping the top and the bottom. So this trick, I learned it from a YouTube video from Industrial Fringe. I'll post his channel on the descriptions, and I've used his tricks since pretty much since I saw the video. It's been over a year, and I can tell you it's the best trick and best advice that anybody's done when taping edges on tumblers. First, you put one piece of tape around the whole thing with no pressure, getting it nice and making sure the paper is in there nice and flat. Get all the creases, as many creases as you can, pushed in with your nail, or if you have a scraper of some sort, you can use a scraper. My nail's hard enough, so I'll just push it with my nail. This will avoid as much ghosting as possible if you get it nice and tight. I mean, nice and flat, because remember, we didn't put the tape tight. We put it at just on there, no pressure at all. Now I got another piece. This is the one. We'll go over the same piece that we just did, but as tight as you can. And what I like to do here is fold the corner of the tape to make it easier when I'm taking it off. Again, fold it all in, try to get as much of the paper wrapped down as possible, just to avoid all the ghosting. Now we'll do the same for the other side. I like to start it right at the seam in the middle of where I put the tape. This is no There's no pressure here. Fold it in. There was no overhang on this side, so it makes it a little easier. Again, try to get the paper nice and tight, nice and flushed. Get all the creases out that the tape causes. Use a scraper if you have to. And last piece, this one has, get it nice and tight. And I always like to fold that edge right in there, because when you take it off, you'll see when I'm unwrapping this how easy it is making that little bend at the tape. So now I'm looking for my shrink wrap. We'll shrink wrap it since I'm going to put it in an oven. I've found that the oven is a little bit longer process, but it seems like you see less tape marks than a mug press. Just here getting the heat gun ready. Should have had it ready before, but I align it with the bend just to avoid anything. I got two options on my gun, 1 and 2, and I just leave it on 1 and just start shrinking it. Not gonna over shrink it, because as soon as you pop it in the oven, it's gonna finish the job for you. Some people, I've seen some videos that they just put it in the oven just like that, and the heat in the oven will shrink it itself. So it's all your choice. Now we're ready. We got the oven. This is our oven. I'm gonna turn it on. 359, top and bottom. I just did a mug with 11 minutes. I feel like I'm gonna go for 12 just because the colors are fairly dark. 12 minutes, we'll pop it in the oven. "12 minutes are up. We'll take it out. That's a heat mat on top, so just make sure it's a heat mat, and just let it cool off. Ready to unwrap. It is a little bit warm. The shrink wrap seems to peel a little better when it's a little bit warm. You can take it off when it's cold, but then it's makes it a little tougher to remove when it's really cold. This one was okay. It was still a little warm. But peel it. I don't necessarily need to peel all of it, just enough from the middle seam, so I can remove the tape, and the top and bottom where the tape is, so we can peel it off. Get all that, as much as you can, off from wherever you're gonna unpeel it. Seems to be good, so we can either let it cool off if you want, or start unwrapping it. remember the piece of the notches that I folded. See how easy it is to take off? Always helps when those notches are there. And makes it easier to pull off or unwrap. Do the same at the bottom. Finish on taking off the tape. There it goes, it comes right off. Look at the colors. If you want dark colors to come out nice, put some more time on your oven. If you have light colors, you could probably cut the time down. But everything's it's a matter of trial and error. So this is the cup is nice and cool. I'm gonna put one of the rubber bottoms. These, I believe I bought them in Amazon. Try to line it up in the middle. And if you mess up, you can always peel it off again and replace it. Sit nice and flat. Get the cap back on it. And there's the one I made earlier. These tumblers are for a craft show that we have next month, and they are Army memes. The one on the left is HR memes. My Army people might know what they mean. And the one on the right is Airborne air assault memes.